2025 Michigan Intercollegiate Athletic Association Women's Soccer Tournament presented by Collegiate Credit Union. Members of the MIAA are advocates of good sportsmanship and positive social behaviors for all constituents, including student-athletes, coaches, administrators, and spectators. Please join the MIAA in providing a positive environment for today's competitors by refraining from making disparaging racist, sexist, or other derogatory comments during today's events. The MIAA encourages all of today's participants, both in competition and in the stands, to be loud, be proud, and be positive.
I feel like it is.
Yeah. Now for the starting lineups for today's match. First, for the visitors from Albion, coached by Ron Rainey. Number 0, Maddie Welsh. Number 2, Alyssa Williamson. Number 5, Kelsey Green. Number 7, Erica Fisher. Number 10, Cece Irwin. Number 11, Abby O'Connell. Number 12, Grace Halstead. Number 14, Mia Zarnowski. Number 23, Diane Hurtado. Number 25, Bella Fabrizio. And number 29, Chloe Salo. And now your starters for the Hornets, coached by Jill Leadforth. First, number 0, Jess Forbes. Number 3, Maeve Nolan. Number 6, Kirsten Schultz. Number 7, Mia Kreitz. Number 8, Kate Clayhorse. Number 12, Zelda Molitor. Number 13, Elle Burness. Number 18, Lexi Gross. Number 19, Izzy Castle. Number 20, Ruby Hogan. And number 21, Savannah Norman. At this time, we invite you to stand for the playing of the national anthem.
championship game to go to here soon, too?
Yeah, I gotta go this afternoon.
No. Up in East Lansing, is it? Oh, Grand Ledge, yeah.
Good afternoon to everyone tuning in today. My name is MIAA, your broadcaster for today's game as the Hornets take on the Albion Brits. It is the first game of MIAA tournament play, and I cannot be more excited to see how this one turns out. The last time these two teams met was October 14th, and the match ended with a 1-1 tie. So we're in for a really exciting one. The last two goal scorers for that game were Chloe Salo for Albion and then Ruby Hogan for your Hornets. So that already tells you a lot, right? It's in terms of leaders for both teams, that already kind of gives you something to look towards. Ruby Hogan currently leading the Hornets with 9 goals on the season. So that's going to be someone for the Brits to pay attention to. How can they kind of make sure that Ruby Hogan is always in their line of sight? How can they make sure that they don't build to connecting to Ruby Hogan? And then same thing for the other side for the Brits. Chloe Salo has been a constant goal producer for them. They have always just connected really well with Salo. So again, the same question arises for the Hornets. How can they kind of match that? How can they be there for when Salo is there? And it looks like it is going to be Ruby Hogan that's going to be out there on the Hornet logo to give us the starting kick. We're set off for a 12 p.m. kickoff. We may be even early here, so that already kind of tells you the type of day it is. If you're new to Mackenzie Field, it's not often that you get a start on time here with the Hornets already taking an early possession, moving their way up the middle of the field. I'd expect a lot of this game to kind of be played in the midfield. Both teams really strong in that aspect. Defensively, both teams have been really good this year. And I guess you could even say offensively, right? It takes a little bit of both to reach this stage in MIAA play. As this one gets into the box early. And it looks like it might go harmless as it's cleared by the Brits. Trying to be cleaned up in the midfield for the Hornets. And still, no one can take a clean possession yet. A nice turn, but that one fizzles out to nothing. So those connecting passes are another thing, right? How can they continue, both teams, how can they continue to kind of play in good pressure, right? You don't want to give up too many mistakes, but you want to continue to push forward when you can. You don't want to be on that back foot. As this one's going to go out for a Hornet throw-in. Couple of juggles to make it up the field. Cleaned up by Albion. Some pressure. It's going to go right back out for a Brit throw-in. This one takes a second. And now the Brits can have something building up as they have a good position. You try to meet the cross. No one was there. Good defending by the Hornets. Already starting early, the Brits trying to connect to Salo in the first opening minutes of this game. They're trying to open it up. It was Jess Forbes at goal, the sophomore, playing a lot of minutes for the Hornets, someone that they've put a lot of trust in this year. Now some good build-up on the opposite end. Could be seen across here early. Got a couple of Hornets in the box. And that one's going to go out. They're saying goal kick. Maddie Welsh, sophomore keeper for the Brits. Obstacle short. She was the hero when these two teams met last time in the 1-1 tie. I believe it was the closing minutes where the Hornets gave it everything they had, and Welsh was able to put a stop to a goal-scoring attempt, which is what the Brits are trying to build to here as they go down the flank. Salo in the block. A good diving block there. But that one's going to go out for the first corner of the game. Bella Fabrizio to take the Brit corner here. Keep an eye on Salo at the orange circle in the box. Ruby Hogan covering her well. Trying to connect. Hornets need to clear. And that's going to get a whistle call. Really good positioning call here for the Brits. It doesn't get much better than this. You can't get much closer without it being a penalty kick. Hurtado to take the penalty, to take the free kick. I said really good positioning. You almost get confused for a penalty kick. This is just, you really have the opportunity to go straight onto goal. You have a nice wall set up by the Hornets. But I would expect her to take this straight on. Forbes at goal for the Hornets. Hurtado goes straight at goal, and that's going to go over the net. Already some close calls for the Hornets as Albion looks to be going into this one a little bit different than before. Both teams wanting to get that opening goal that usually sets the tone for the rest of the game. Hornets needing to gain some points in possession. Again, the Brits take control of the ball. And now it's Humble on the field. That's going to get a call. Kelsey Green on the floor for the Brits. She gets the foul call. And now you have another opportunity for a set piece. Shot into the goal here. Forbes with a punch out. Stays in the box. Not so dangerous when Forbes is at goal. She's able to get her hands on it before anybody else can. Now she sends it into the midfield. Intended target was Hogan. And the ball goes into the stands. Hogan able to draw the call, and now the Hornets kind of have some time to gain some possession points. As I said, I would expect them to pass it around just a tad, but both teams excited to open up tournament play with a goal as that one sent to the top of the box. Hits a couple players. The Brits trying to clear. It was a diving attempt, but no shot off by Savannah Norman. Maeve Nolan trying to keep it in, but that one's going to go out for a Hornet throw-in. Took a deflection off of Salo. And position just gets better and better as Nolan takes the throw-in again. A strong throw-in. The ball making its way to the top of the box. Hornets trying to control. More movement, a couple passes back and forth. Nolan building up the flank. Good takeover by the Brits there. Comes right back out for another throw-in. Seen a couple of those already. Nolan continuously taking those throw-ins. Now for a switch out. Looking for a different play of attack here as Hogan's able to get it to the floor. Good defending by the Brits. It comes off the body. Well, I was going to say it comes off the body of Erica Fisher from the Brits there, but looks like it got awarded a goal kick. Dangerous for the Brits as Welsh opts to go short. Could be a connecting pass. More back and forth at the top of the box. And just wide there. It was a nice attempt by Elle Burness. You seen her kind of moving around the box early. Now, I do think if she was to get the ball just a tad bit early, it would be called an offside. She was kind of lingering behind the back line of the Brits. And if you know anything about offsides call, they come in the worst moments. Some more movement by the Brits in the midfield, trying to work their way up. Nolan with a nice attempt here. Fisher for the throw-in. Trying to connect downfield. It comes off of the Hornets. It's going to be, it comes off of the Brits for a Hornet throw-in. Believe it got deflected off of Salo. And the Hornets do it again. This time a nice waiting run from Hogan. She's at the corner. She gets the deflection, and now the Hornets get a chance at a corner. Savannah Norman to take this corner. You got a couple of options in the box. You have a late run from Maeve Nolan at the top of the box if needed. Header the opposite way. The Brits able to clear. It's into the midfield now. Hornets doing well to break up the transition play. That can get a little bit dangerous. Both teams really good from switching from that defensive play to offensive play. Usually when teams can kind of figure out how to make that switch pretty cleanly, they turn out to be a really tough team to beat, and both of these teams kind of have that down. As a couple deflections off of both players. Fisher scoping out the field. Makes a connection with Salo. Salo losing it to Hogan. Hogan now with some space. Makes the connection to Bernis. And that one gets cleared out for a throw-in. Really nice job there, I believe, by Fisher. The Brit defender able to clear, but making sure it was a throw-in as Hogan with some touch there. She tries to kind of send it backwards. No luck. Bernis with a lot of pressure there. Nolan able to get control of it. Intercepting the pass to Salo. Nolan again. And now you got a transition play from the Brits as they build up. Not for long. Lexi Gross was there to break up the play for the Hornets. Some more back and forth. Trying to gain some confidence. Make a connection to Norman as she builds up. Bernis now with a long run. She takes a cross into the box. And now they're calling for deflection, and the Hornets are going to get another corner awarded. A good build-up attempt as Bernis took it down the flank. She goes for the cross and gets a deflection call. Norman once again taking the corner. Ball into the box. Trying to make a connection. It does! Goal! In the early minutes of this game, Ruby Hogan able to come in clutch again for the Hornets as she makes a connection off the head.
Hornet goal number 20, Ruby Hogan.
Ruby Hogan setting the tone early for the Hornets. And they take a couple seconds to celebrate. A way to open up tournament play for Ruby Hogan. The overall leader in goal scoring. Able to make her impact early. Momentum, such an important thing of this game. An important factor in every game, you could say. Well, right now the Hornets have it. Can they carry it for the rest of this half? As now the Brits try to build up to respond here. Couple of passes in the back. Darnowski with a pass, and that's going to be cleared by the Hornets. I believe it was Kate Clayhorse who was able to clear there. And now a throw-in for the Hornets. So an opening goal from Ruby Hogan sets the tone here in tournament play. It was Savannah Norman off the corner set piece And they continue to play on in the midfield. Burness trying to make another thing happen here. Missed touch by Norman is going to give possession back to the Brits. Not for long as Norman was able to recover, lost it again. Hurtado doing a lot of work for the Brits right now on this sideline. Number 23 for the Brits. Off of Hogan. Norman tried to keep it in, but that one's going to go out. Fisher for the Brit throw-in. Maeve Nolan try to intercept the pass. Sayla with some room as she tries to build down the line, and that's going to go out. Nolan at the ball again. Trying to connect with Burness. No luck. Nolan with a nice hard challenge there. It was clean, and now it's going to give some space to Hogan. If she can outrun Hurtado, still some work to be done. Burness trying to connect. At the top of the box. Empty net, and that one goes wide. Nervous moments for the Brits as Maddie Welsh, goalkeeper, steps out of goal, leaving an empty net. The Hornets unable to convert. Welsh still opts to go short in the presence of Burness. Good interception play by the Hornets. Some more connection. And that pass kind of thrown away. Norman doing a really good job of staying onside. She probably would have went for that, would have been called offside. You can't go behind that defending back line. Norman again at the ball, doing a lot of work already. Nolan with the throw-in. Intended for Burness. And now some build-up for the Brits. Mia Kreitz, number 7 for the Hornets, doing a lot of work at the top of that midfield to try to break up play. Brits trying to build, but the Hornets do a nice job to break it down. Now you got some runners. Hornets building up the flank. You could see a cross. And that one's going to go out for a goal kick. Cleanly defended by the Brits. Deflection into the stands. The Brits having some trouble with build-up as the Hornets have been defending very cleanly so far in the early minutes of this game. Comes right back out for another throw-in. It's been Fisher on this sideline for the Brits. And now possession switches over as Nolan takes grab of the ball here. Ruby Hogan trying to get some possession. And Burness with a little bit too much strength. No one there to connect. Now for a set piece, almost to the midfield line. Sent to the top of the box. Trying to connect with anybody. Couple of headers around. It gets cleared by Hurtado. And a triple collision as I believe it was Nolan who went down, Sayla who went down. And trying to see the second Hornet. Forbes clearly grabs control of the ball there, sending all the Hornets upfield. She's shown off her leg a couple times. Difference from Welsh, and similar to the last time they met, Welsh opts to go short pretty often. That's something that the forwards of the Hornets tend to attack, as Bernice will stay a little bit lower when Welsh is at the ball. And now Nolan to kind of set up this set piece. She sends it on the side there, maybe trying to build up some type of flank play and get a crossover into the box. And the Hornets lose possession. It's been a couple moments like this for the Brits where they lose possession in dangerous areas. Norman with a nice pass to Hogan. Hogan, some fancy footwork, trying to build down the line. She will. Welsh able to step out and put her hands on it. Good play there by Welsh to kind of take possession early. You don't want that to build to anything else. I believe that was her first showing off the leg there. And now with some build-up play from the Brits. Broken up early. Bernice showing off speed. Some more connection plays. Halstead down the field, tries to connect with Salo. Salo takes a tumble. And that's cleared out by the Hornets. It's only been about 20 minutes into the first half of this Hornet-Brit game. It was Ruby Hogan to break the 0-0 tie, putting in a goal in the 11th minute. Off the corner of Savannah Norman. Nolan off Bernice. Norman trying to send it up the line. Hogan runs out of room. Good footwork as Nolan is able to regain. Was expecting an earlier run from Bernice as they lose possession. Green building up, and there's the offside flag. Told you it comes when it hurts the most, and right there it looked like the Brits had a good opportunity for some nice build-up down the flank. Not a lot of Hornet defenders down the field. And the offside flag is able to break up the play. Forbes down the field as that one rolls out. And the sun begins to peek out just a little bit. Always nice to have beautiful weather on a Saturday afternoon. Build up on the flank. Got a couple of Hornets in the box. And that one's going to go out for a goal kick. Welsh goes short again. Almost connected and will to Salo. Nolan able to intercept some play. At the feet of Bernice. Passes out to Norman. You got Ruby Hogan at the top of the box. No one marking her. Tap down. And that goes over the net. You can kind of see Welsh talking to her defenders a little bit as nervous moments happen once more for the Brits. Sent out into the midfield after some pressure applied from Bernice. Salo putting some pressure on Nolan. Brits trying to get some possession points. Through the legs of Nolan. Still in the midfield as Hogan has some room. She's going to connect to Bernice. She opts to keep it with her. Still making her way down. Good stop play there. Norman now. And that one goes wide. And you can see Savannah Norman kind of shrug it off a little bit. She knew maybe she could have took an extra touch, look up a little bit, and bend it into that back post. Instead, it goes wide from goal, and the Hornets lose an opportunity to make it 2-0. Fisher with the Brit throw-in once more. Makes a connection. Zarnowski, and it comes out again. Zarnowski with the throw-in. Comes right back out. And that's probably something the Hornets want to clean up, right? You don't want to just re-lose possession after gaining it once more, as the Brits are just moving further and further down the line. But neither team able to hold possession for too long. It lasts maybe a couple of passes, and then both teams kind of fizzle out. Hogan out again. This time moving Fisher up the line. And Fisher's going to get pushed back. And you see kind of attempts on both sides to do that when it's kind of kicked out for a throw-in. Both sides will kind of take a couple steps closer, trying to get some better positioning. Well, not that time. Connection. Trying to make a cross happen, and it was just mishandled. Zarnowski's going to want that one back. She had a lot of green in front of her. She takes the, looks like an attempted cross. And it just took a bad deflection off the top of her foot. Nolan sends it up the field for Bernice. Bernice able to get there in time. Battling one defender. Beating one. Fisher still trying to attempt to get Bernice off the ball. Into the goal. Saved by Welsh. Welsh saving the Brits from falling into the hole deeper. And that kind of wakes up the Brits just a tad, kind of realizing their positioning on the field and how they let that one sneak past. Giving Bernice a couple too much taps down the sideline. Fisher did a nice job of defending, but it was just her alone. Could have used some help. As the Hornets reattempt down the opposite end of the field. More back and forth. And going to lose possession. Going to be a goal kick for Welsh. Welsh takes an extra second. Opts to go short once more. Hogan sending it in Bernice's direction. No connection to be made, but Norman's going to get an opportunity for a throw in here. Norman strong throw in over the head of Hogan. Comes right back to her. She has another chance. Takes a couple of steps. Gets knocked off the ball and cleared out. Now down the sideline for Hogan. And that's going to come out for a Brit throw-in. It's been that matchup pretty much all game so far. Ruby Hogan versus Fisher. Hard challenge. It's going to get the... No whistle call here, but it looks like because the Hornets already have advantage. Comes out to the top of the box. Nobody there. Burness with an extra step pokes it in the back of the net. Burness makes it 2-0. And everybody takes a breath. In the 28th minute, El Burness able to make it 2-0 against the Brits.
Ella Burness.
And there you go. Ruby Hogan in the 11th minute. Now El Burness in the 28th. The Hornets don't let up. Couple of moments as the clock gets reset to 16:12.
Okay, now I gotta figure out how to add a goal because I haven't had to do this.
The Brits needing to respond before the half closes out. That'd be the best possible scenario for Albion. They've had some trouble defensively for the majority of this first half as the Hornets try to build up once more. You don't got a lot of Hornets in the box. You hold up on the run. Beats one. Loose at the box. Welsh comes out. Welsh able to regain control. And it gets nervous once again. It's been one too many situations for the Brits where it just gets a little bit more nervous. You lose the ball at a wrong part of the field. The Hornets doing a really good job of taking advantage of that. Neither team really holding possession for too long. But when it comes for 2 goals scored like that, it's something similar as that cross goes over the net. Looked like an intended cross there. You had a couple Brit players in the box. As Forbes is going to take this goal kick. Tarnowski trying to get to the ball, but then it gets cleared. It's going to be Nolan for the throw-in. And more plays stay the same. Both teams, again, just having trouble keeping the ball in play. And it's just creating for this. Neither team can get in this flow state if it continues to be sent out. Again, Hornets just taking advantage of some defensive holes on the Brits side. As Fisher makes sure that one comes out for a goal kick. Maggie Westra steps on the field for the Hornets. And you can always see her with her blue cleats. Something special to her persona on the field. And I'll even take this moment here to kind of shout out everybody watching, tuning in to either see how this one turns out or for individual players on the field. Maggie Wesha specifically wanted to shout out to her grandparents watching the stream tonight. So Westra provides fresh legs for the Hornets. Salo trying to make some work happen. More movement at the top of the box. Gets broken up. Halstead sends it forward. Deflected off the back for Hornet player. Now it takes a couple of juggles down the flank. Good positioning for the Hornets. You could be seeing a cross. Beats one. Sent into the box. Off the crossbar. Deflection in. Ruby Hogan gets two. Ruby Hogan at the right time, at the right place. Finds a spot at the top of the box and sends the ball in the back of the net.
Goal scored by your Hornets, number 20, Ruby Hogan.
And now you know what type of day Ruby Hogan's having. Makes the score 3-0 in the first half, and this is something Albion has not faced. For the entirety of this season in MIAA play, Albion has never been down more than 2 goals. They had a similar score only once against Hope, October 8th. They lost to Hope 3-0, and the story repeats here as the Hornets are up 3-0. The Brits desperately need to respond. Broken up by the Hornets. Having some space. The Hornets able to clear. Izzy Castle, number 19 for the Hornets, doing great defensive work. Now an opportunity for the Brits. Gets broken up. But is still going to offer a corner. As the sun shines a little bit brighter here on Mackenzie Field. Got Salo in the orange again. Near post. And that's going to come in short for the Brits. Again, not something you want to do if you're Albion right now. You want to at least get it into the box. Because at least if it goes into the box, you have an opportunity to make some type of connection on it. Foul call against the Hornets. Believe it's Fabrizio on the ball now for Albion. She's going to do her best to send it forward. Reaches the top of the box. O'Connell with a shove on the back on a Hornet player, which is going to get the call. And the Hornets are going to regain possession. Forbes sends it into the midfield. Westra trying to break up play, unable to there. At the feet of Hogan. Nice challenge by O'Connell once more. Sends it out for her teammate Fisher to take the throw in. Fisher faced up with Westra. She sends it over. At the feet of Hogan. Brits regain possession in the midfield. Trying to build up. Good break of play there. Clayhorse doing her due diligence. The junior defender out of Grand Haven, Michigan. Number 8, Kate Clayhorse. Maeve Nolan at the ball. She's seen this opportunity probably more times than I can count.
I don't know.
Now we're going to take a moment for the officials to have a conversation. Looks like the scoreboard went out for a couple of seconds, and they're just trying to make sure that the time remains the same. Well, it gives some time for all the players on the field to kind of rest their legs. Again, probably the freshest pair of legs for the Hornets is Maggie Westra in the blue cleats.
Yeah, time. And then just 2 seconds, 19. Nope.
And now the clock gets reset, and it looks like play will resume. There's the whistle as Nolan sends it in. Allie Camery trying to make something happen for the Hornets. Gets taken over. Foul call against the Hornets, and now the Brits have some nice positioning. They're a little bit closer, able to make something worth of this set piece. And the official's going to send them back a little bit farther up the field. Still have a chance to send it at the top of the box. They will. Comes down to the top. Foul call against the Brits, and possession is regained by the Hornets. Nothing too dangerous to handle there. Forbes remains calm. Forbes into the midfield. Again, pass is broken up. Falls to the feet of Westra. Flexion is a little long there. Maggie Westra still trying to regain possession. Sends it out for a Brit throw-in. Fisher makes it quick, but not against Nolan. Ruby Hogan tries to make a connection to Bernis, but that one's sent wide. Westra again. Handling one through the legs of Fisher. Nice ball work and movement. Now Bernis trying to reconnect with Westra down the line. That gets broken up. Some fancy footwork from Maggie Westra on the sideline. Fabrizio at the ball. Looks like she's going to try to get some better positioning for the Brits. Tries to connect with Salo. Got deflected. Off of Gross. And now Bernice with a lot of room. Bernice is going to send it into the box and miss connection there. Try to connect with Ali Camry. And no luck for the Hornets there. Hornets trying to build up the flank again, and this is where they've been successful. It's been down the flanks. Kind of setting up more plays. They'll make it look like they're going down the flanks, then kind of bleed into the top of the box. The Brits get a call now. And you can feel the momentum switch as it happened from that first goal by Ruby Hogan. Westra with a lot of green in front of her. She can make something happen. Overtakes Fisher. More movement. Cuts it off. She has some space to turn around. Sent it to the top of the box and handled by Welsh. It was good movement that started it off by Westra. She cuts the ball off early, sends it to Hogan. Had better positioning at the top of the box. Hogan's attempt gets cut off by Welsh. And despite the scoreboard, you got to tip your hat off to Welsh. It would look a lot uglier if it wasn't for two good saves by Welsh. Some more building down the flank for the Brits as they start to get a little antsy. You only got about 3 minutes left in the first half. They have time for maybe two good build-up quality attempts, depending on how long this set piece takes. They try to make it quick. Forbes with a punch-out, doesn't get far. This one can be dangerous. Try to get a deflection into the back of the net, but the positioning was wrong. Some more build-up down the flank. In the box, dangerous. And that one just goes wide. It's going to be a Brit throw-in. Dangerous moments for the Hornets. Forbes kind of opted for a punch-out, and it didn't get very far. And that one goes out for a goal kick. You'd expect the Hornets to kill some time. Got a couple of substitutions. Westra steps off the field. Ellie Andrews steps onto the field for the Hornets. Maeve Nolan try to switch play.
1 minute remaining.
Under 50 seconds for the Brits to try to make something happen. Will they go quietly in the first half? Hogan with the ball at her feet. They try to build up the flank. Good connection. Gets broken up by Zarnowski. And if they make it quick, the Brits can try to make something happen. Brits with the throw-in. They have under 15 seconds, and they're taking their time.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
There are your final seconds.
1.
As the Hornets close out the first half, 3-0. And if you're tuning in just now, as we enter halftime, your 3 goal scorers were Ruby Hogan, Elle Bernis. Get this, Ruby Hogan once more. It's Hogan with 2 goals so far, and she kind of set the standard off for the Hornets with that first goal in the 11th minute. Elle Bernis had a nice one at the 28th, and then Hogan did it twice at the 32nd minute. I mean, the build-up has been a little bit off from both sides, despite what the scoreboard might say. Both teams will probably want to build up a little bit more. They've had a little bit of a choppier play, a choppier feel to them. But the advantage goes to the Hornets as they're able to break up play a little bit more often. They're able to build a little bit more than Albion. And I can only imagine the conversations into the half as Albion wasn't able to break the scoreboard in the first half despite being down 3-0. I mean, I would assume that they are upset with being unable to get one before the halftime buzzer, but they're probably going to think of some more ways to maybe clean up play. They had a bit of scary defensive moments, and on their offensive attempts, it was broken up very quickly. So the Hornets are doing their job offensively and defensively. We'll wait for the second half to see how Albion will respond. In that game, I believe it was MVP or senior night for the last time that the Hornets and Albion met. And let me tell you, the gear was switched into that second half. Albion kind of changes in that second half. So don't go anywhere as we take a 15-minute break. We'll be back for the second half as the Hornets are up 3-0. Welcome back for half number 2 as the Kalamazoo Hornets take on the Albion Brits. If you're just joining us, whew, have you missed a pretty wild first half? The score is 3-0 with 2 goals. With the first goal coming from Ruby Hogan at the 11th minute, the second coming from El Bernis at the 28th minute, and a third but second on the day for Hogan at the 32nd minute. So there you have it, Ruby Hogan with 2 goals, Bernis with 1, and Albion with none. They are trying to respond in this second half. They have 45 minutes of regulation time to do so. Already trying to build up play, bring some trouble to Forbes, who had a pretty quiet first half. She had a couple of maybe some attempts on attacks. I don't really know how to classify it. A lot of the attempted attacks from the Brits have been off center as that one goes long and wide over the goal of Forbes. But as I was saying, the Brits having some trouble offensively building up, and then defensively, with the score being 3-0, having some trouble breaking up play from the Hornets. I want you to keep in mind, though, despite the scoreboard, neither team has been necessarily holding possession for too long. It's been a lot of these plays, and it looks like it's going to continue to be a lot of these plays, where they kind of have a couple touches here and there, and then it comes right back out for another throw-in. So it's like kind of interrupting play for both sides. They're not able to kind of get a consistent flow. It's been the Hornets who have been able to kind of hold on just a little bit longer, which has gotten them those 3 goals. Even from that, one of those goals coming from a corner kick. So that one's already kind of like a set piece, right? They haven't been necessarily building up from the back. I think neither team would be necessarily happy with how they're kind of playing today, but they are, at least for the Hornets, happy with the score as it is and how they're still able to break up that flow and break up that play so that the Brits are unable to kind of come right back out. In goal for the Brits, you have Maddie Welsh, 5'9" sophomore goalkeeper. She's already been met a couple of times at the net. She had 2 really good saves in that first half. That kind of kept the scoreboard pretty for a second, but it was Hogan to put a stop at that. I mean, Hogan has just been on fire, and you can just see her continue that. And something that I think, enjoyed her development of play as now the Brits trying to make something happen. The cross was a little too close to goal, maybe an attempt at a goal, as Forbes is able to step out and just kind of handle that one very cleanly. But as I was saying, the development of Ruby Hogan's game, I mean, she has just, since she stepped onto Mackenzie Field, has been a star for the Hornets. But she just, for me, as a person who grew up watching the USWNT, right, the U.S. Women's National Team, I mean, the pink headband, the style of play, even down to the run, reminds me so much of Alex Morgan sometimes. It gives me nostalgia as Alex Morgan just recently retired, but it gives me a little bit of nostalgia seeing her play on the field and just how clean she keeps this Hornet team going. As there's a little bit of work to be done in the corner. Trying to cross into the box. Deflection. Really dangerous. It was cleared out by Maeve Nolan, who took a dive. It was a sliding tackle by Nolan that got that cleared out, and that's another player I want to highlight. Maeve Nolan for the Hornets has been instrumental. Again, she's the only player that's labeled midfielder, defender, and forward, right? She is just so versatile, so diverse in her playing style, able to switch from that defensive mode into that offensive mode, and you can see defensively just how valuable she is. And then later on in the offensive manner, you see how she builds and builds play. She's able to kind of defensively win the ball and then, boom, make that transition switch. She's more of a transition player that the Hornets are able to build off of, as now the Hornets try to build up the flank. You could be seeing a cross into the box. Not sure if that was intended to go near post or crossed into the direction of Bernis. Either way, it's out through the sideline, and now we're going to have an injury stoppage as one of the Albion Brit players is slow to get up. Think that's Fisher. Number 7 for the Brits. Welsh goes short. You got a whistle call to interrupt play. And Welsh is going to have to do it again. But as I was saying, Hornets, a lot of valuable players playing really well tonight. Should I say today? You know, you're so used to that 7 p.m. start time on Mackenzie Field. And, you know, today it was an afternoon start time. Beautiful Sunday afternoon. It doesn't look so now, but in that first half, that sun was shining bright. I mean, I'm feeling great. You're feeling great. The Hornets are feeling great. And the Brits are trying to feel better. Trying to build up that flank. They got a little bit of room. Forbes steps out of her area. She sends it the opposite way. Maybe creating something for Burness at the top of the box. Trying to beat 2. Welsh able to scoop it up. And there you go. That's what I mean by transition play. It was a split second that the Brits were kind of on their front foot, right? Trying to get that finishing third. Trying to get a goal on the board. Forbes was able to break it up, send it the opposite direction, and immediately made contact with Burness. And you know when the ball gets to the feet of Burness, she's going to make it worthwhile. As a couple of tumbles back and forth, Hurtado was able to kind of get the ball away from Kreitz at kind of that midfield area. Hurtado at the ball once more. She's been influential for the Brits as she kind of sends it into a gray area. No one near that one. It's going to come out for a throw-in. O'Connell throws it in. It gets deflected right back to her. At the feet of Kreitz. Deflection once more, but this time Hogan's going to get the throw-in. It's Hurtado who's also sitting on that assist leaderboard for the Brits. She's had a couple of chances to touch the ball, but even so, the Brits probably not happy with how not often they're able to get the ball to Hurtado's feet and also to Salo's feet, right? Salo being their top leading goal scorer. That's something they're trying to fix as well. As the Hornets try to disrupt play. Some build-up. Good space here. And cleared out by Kirsten Schultz. Freshman, midfield and defender playing in that defensive spot right now. Little bit of work to be done. Hurtado able to drop it to her feet. Trying to make something happen. Now into that midfield area as the Brits try to regain some comfortable possession. This is already a lot cleaner from that first half. Some shorter passes that get interrupted like that one just there. Get interrupted by the Hornets and kind of disrupt that play. If they're able to kind of keep and string together those passes, I think they're looking at a more positive second half. It's right back out for another throw-in. Sarnowski throws it in. Some space in the box. Good disruption there. Hurtado at the feet. And right at Forbes, who's able to handle that one cleanly. You're at the 36-minute mark, and your score is still 3-0. As the Brits try to break the scoreboard. Kreitz handling the ball. Working up that flank. Believe it was pass intended for Burness. Gets disrupted by Albion, and that's going to go out for a good position throw-in. Kate Clayhorse to take the throw-in, I believe, for the Hornets. Hogan working at that corner, trying to get the deflection corner. Shove in the back, no call whistle there. Instead, it's going to go out for a goal kick. Again, Maddie Welsh at goal. Good green area for the Brits. Forbes opts to get back, and that's the offside flag. And that's got to sting a little bit. The Brits able to build up more and more from that back half. They've took a couple of more passes, but they were able to reach Salo. And still, that offside flag has happened to them twice now, where they're kind of in good positioning, and then it's just that positioning of that forward member that's going to throw them off just a tad. It was number 5, Green, who was trying to make the turn for the Brits. Passes and loses possession. Some more back and forthness, and again, that's been the story of the game. These choppy back and forth passes on both sides. The Hornets just coming out on top so far. Got somewhat of a set piece. It looks like they're going to take a couple of touches to get it near goal. Welsh is going to get her hands on it before anything dangerous could happen. She snuffs that one out. In the midfield, this time Welsh opts to go long. Again, similar to her style of play from last time they met. Again, a 1-1 draw. Welsh often opts to go short to her left or right defenders. And every now and then she'll send it into the midfield. She has a little bit of luck with that every time she goes into the midfield, as this one's sent to the top of the box. Trying to get a drop down. Nothing clean yet. And the offside flag is up once more, as CeCe Irwin try to get to the ball. Some confusion on the field, trying to figure out who's going to take the throw in here. Lexi Gross, who sends it back to Forbes. Forbes sends it into the midfield. Burness got the deflection out. Sitting in the 32nd minute of the second half. Good positioning here. Back at the feet of Burness. This time Burness kind of playing a little bit more into that back midfield area. She was kind of that center forward in that first half. This time doing some work in the midfield. Hogan sends it deep. A lot of bodies. Kreitz trying to break up play. Still no luck. As Albion regains possession, only to give it up to the sideline. And now some subs on for the Hornets. Allie Camry re-enters the field for the Hornets. Trying to see who that second substitution was. Anna Courtney on the field as well for the Hornets. As the 31st minute dwindles out. Sent to the top of the box. Falls to the feet of Burness, trying to turn. cleared out. Now, Albion playing with some green. Salo just misread the ball. Good turn for the Hornets. And now you got great positioning for the throw-in, sitting in the 30th minute of the second half. Bernice at the corner of the box. Diving tackle was to send it out, but the Hornets resend it back in. And now you got an opportunity for a cross. Snuffed out by Erica Fisher. Another great player on the Albion side. Fisher, number 7 in the purple, has been met with so many Hornets today and has been for a majority of those one-on-ones coming out on top. The corner, sent it to the box. Trying to find a connection. Cleared out the foot. It was a foot save. And another corner attempt to be had. And that is why you always have position players on the line with you. Welsh was out of position for a second, but she had another Brit player able to kind of clear it off with a foot save in the air. Punched out by Welsh. Deflection to the feet of Nolan. And that one sent over the top and wide. Dangerous moments for the Brits as they try to make sure this one doesn't get any uglier. You're sitting under 30 minutes. Bernice applying some pressure as the Hornets don't take their foot off the gas pedal. Brits trying to take a second to breathe. Takes a deflection off. Schultz. It's going to be possession to the Brits. Good heads-up play by Kelsey Green as Albion makes sure. Well, Green was thinking that possession was going to be for Albion and given a corner, but the official disagrees. It's going to be a goal kick for Forbes. Good positioning on all players right now. O'Connell passes it out onto the feet of O'Connell once more. She pushes forward. Falls to the feet of Green. And that one gets shoved out by Izzy Castle. Through the legs of Hurtado. And out for a throw-in. Hurtado leaves a throw-in up to Irwin. And that's right back out for an Albion corner. They get an opportunity that they've been looking for. Can they make it count is the question. It's going to be Fabrizio at the ball. The box is flooded with Hornet and Albion players. A lot of marks, a lot of spots to be hit. Sent into the box. And that one gets right back out. The Albion players trying to call for another corner, but the Hornets disagree. Forbes gets an opportunity to send it into the midfield once more. And just like that, that corner opportunity for the Brits is kind of given up. Bernice heading backwards almost, putting some pressure, trying to regain possession. Fabrizio just had to clear. There was not much she could do there. This time Nolan with the throw in on the opposite end. Takes a couple of bounces. Hard attempt by Fisher. And the call remains with the Hornets. Looks like they're going to go for a deeper throw-in. Falls backwards, loose in the box. Could be dangerous. And cleared out once more. Sent to Ruby Hogan. Hogan trying to dance on that sideline. Almost able to defeat Fisher. And I said Fisher, but I think that was actually Zarnowski who made her way off the field. As she gets subbed off. Welsh goes short once more. Hurtado in the middle of the field. Now trying to send it forward. Good position here for a throw-in. Irwin lingering, trying to offer some support. That goes out for a corner. Another opportunity gets handed to the feet. The corner that just passed was a little bit of a missed opportunity for Albion as they try to make this one matter. This time a little bit of a different setup as the runs are later into the box. Trying to make a deflection. Forward base later will punch it out. Only as far as the top of the box. Still dangerous. Fabrizio trying to make something happen, and now Albion's going to have to kind of relieve some pressure, sending it backwards. Falls to the feet of, I believe that's Camry. Now some buildup to be had. Pass was long for Hogan. She's going to lose it to Fisher. And Welsh resends it in the opposite direction. But not for long. Fisher at the ball. She had to clear. Wasn't a lot of help for her there either. As Albion starts to get a little bit antsy. You're sitting under 25 minutes left in the second half. That one's sent to the top of the box, and even I had to hold my breath. Welsh making sure just to look that one go over the top of the bar. Another substitution, for Albion. Irwin steps off the field to make room for Molby. Working with some space. Molby with her first touches of the game. The Brits trying to string some passes together, trying to build. And that looks like it went out. Possession to the Brits. Zeleny, number 3 in purple, to take the throw-in. Makes a connection with Hurtado, but that one gets sent right back out, and now possession's back with the Hornets. Hogan to take the throw-in, and now another substitution for the Hornets as Anna Courtney steps off, makes room for Maggie Westra. She had a couple of minutes in that first half. Onto the feet of Westra. She has a little bit of green. Passes it out, trying to maybe reconnect in the box. But not with Fisher working that line. Again, Fisher doing a great job defensively down that sideline. Burness in the middle of the box. She's on the floor. Burness again. Welsh has to get there, and she will. So the danger doesn't stop for Maddie Welsh. She has just been targeted tonight by these Hornet players. Possession remains with the Brits. Williamson to send it in. Kemery applying some pressure. Sent forward. Good break of play. Schultz doing her job, the freshman. Westra now with a couple of touches. Sent to Hogan. Good build here. Now Westra has the ball at her feet. She has to take on two. Passes out to Bernis. Repasses to Westra, who can't keep it in. The pass was just a little bit too strong for Westra. It was a good build-up from the Hornets. Something positive. Probably one of the better build-ups of the day as they're able to string together some passes. Now some green for the Brits, but not for long as Nolan clears. Some more defending to be had. And another throw-in for the Brits. Also looks like another Hornet substitution at the sideline. Sent back to Fabrizio. Bernis tracking it down as well. And that's that pressure that's being applied. It's something that the Hornets are doing really well tonight, right? I always, whenever I'm on stream, talk about primarily two things. One being momentum and two being pressure. And that is something that the Hornets have both of today. They, one, are carrying momentum since that first Ruby Hogan goal. Since then have carried that momentum into the second half. And on top of that, the pressure that they've applied has been working really well. Bernis, I think, primarily sticking out to me as she defends and presses really strongly, especially when that goal, when the ball's at the top of the box, sitting with Welsh. Hogan with some room down the flank, trying to get closer. And that gets deflected out for a Hornet corner. And this can be an opportunity to grow the lead. Ellie Andrews to take this corner. It has been Savannah Norman up to this point to kind of take on these corner kicks. Now Ellie Andrews sitting behind the ball, hand up. Sent short into the box. And looks like this one's going to get handled with no danger. Andrews again able to keep it in. Quick pass out. Back to the feet of Andrews. And another deflection is going to lead to another corner kick. Andrews gets a second attempt. She worked for that one herself as well. Defensively and offensively building up to 2 corner kicks. This one sent short near post. Sent. And not dangerous enough. Hornets having a lot of success connecting in the box. Off those corner kicks. One of the goals coming off a corner kick. I believe it was the first goal from Ruby Hogan that was off a Savannah Norman corner kick. I could be wrong. A whistle call at the right spot for the Brits. And you can see the crowd disagrees with that call. Either way, the Brits still with a couple of minutes left in this second half. You're sitting under 17 minutes. Down 3-0. Fabrizio sends it into the box. Forbes, not dangerous. Good heads-up play there by Forbes, able to remain cool, calm and collected. And now she resends it into the midfield, trying to see if any Hornet magic could happen in the final minutes of this game. They're going to handle it like another set piece. Fabrizio again at the ball. Going to move up a little bit as the official gives her an extra inch. Fabrizio trying to set up the top of the box, sends it in. Trying to make some good connection. And Forbes is there once more. Forbes sends it forward quickly. Trying to make something happen. I think it was intended for Hogan, but it was broken up. Hogan able to regain possession. Making her way up the field. Not with the help of Hurtado, who was trying to break that up just a tad. And will. It was a shove. What looked to be a shove. And that's going to get the call for the Hornets as possession remains with them. Similar to how the Brits set up their set piece. Except this one goes short at the top of the box. It's not going to be dangerous enough, but it will maybe give them an opportunity to build. Kemery tries to pass out to Westra. A little bit too much heat on that one. Again out for a throw-in. Schultz to make the throw-in here, who hands it off actually to Hogan. Hogan sends it forward. Westra looked like she was going to get the deflection. Opts to leave it. And deflected right back out for the Brits. Now a good connection play. But not if Lexi Gross can let it happen. Gross still making some work in that midfield. Hogan with a nice footwork there. Hogan dancing around some players. Andrews now working up the flank. Facing off two through the legs of one. Now her final one is Fisher. And that one's going to go out with no harm and no danger. Green back on the field and Salo back on the field for the Brits as they try to get some goal scoring power in the last 13 minutes of this game. Courtney Cutler on the field for the Hornets as well. Freshman forward steps on for the first time. Albion trying to get a shot on goal. Still unable to. Hurtado, who has played the majority of this game, has done a lot of work. Kemery able to clear out to the front. And now the offside flag, I believe, is going to be called. Or a whistle call, it could be. It looks like it's going to be a whistle. Sent to the top of the box. Intended for Hogan. Hogan still trying to get there, but it's going to go out. Williamson was trying to make sure it stayed in, and no luck there. Hogan looks like intended for Cutler. She'll get it there. Cutler trying to give it back to Hogan. Cutler working down the sideline, and that's going to go out for a corner. Courtney Cutler, the freshman forward, making her mark on this field as she works for that corner. Mia Kreitz to take the Kalamazoo corner in the second half at the 11th minute. High and tall into the top of the box, and that's going to go out, no danger. Welsh looks like she's going to go off to her side. Sitting in the 10th minute of the second half, the Hornets are up 3-0. Fancy footwork from Hurtado. She takes a dive and takes out a Hornet. Now trying to gain some possession points out of the Hornets. Not for long, falls to the feet of Fisher. Nolan keeps it in. Some back and forwardness. Now some flank area. And we could be seeing a card in the last couple of minutes of the game. And there it is. A yellow card awarded in the 10th minute of the second half. Yellow card awarded to Izzy Castle. And it gives Albion a good set piece opportunity. Albion has had a couple of these for the entirety of the match and still not able to convert, as this one gets sent into the box. Good connection, but it goes wide. Forbes doing good to just let that one go wide. She's going to get a goal kick opportunity. Burness is going to step right back on the field. And in case you missed it, Burness had a goal in the 28th minute, making the game 2-0. Current score sitting at 3-0. In just under 10 minutes as Hogan tries to push forward. Unable to. It was Arnowski who was able to kick it out, number 14 in purple. Defensively doing her job tonight. Hogan intended for Burness. Looks like she was trying to head backwards to Cutler. That looks like a good connection to be had. It'd be Hogan, Burness, and Cutler as the major forwards right now. Hurtado trying to turn. Sarnowski sends it in. Cut up by Cutler. Hogan with some green. She opts to go to Burness, but the pass is behind her back. I think maybe in that situation you had Cutler having a run on the outside flank. Maybe could have offered a better opportunity in that sense. Cutler now with some green. It was a nice idea play by Kate Clayhorse trying to connect to Cutler down the flank. But it was cut up by Albion. Still good position for a Hogan throw-in as she goes to Burness. Burness trying to turn, dancing at the line. Dishes it out to Hogan. Hogan and Burness going back and forth. Cutler trying to get in there in time. And the bridge trying to clear. Schultz trying to keep the ball in play. Hurtado to take the throw-in. She gives it out to Zeleny. Hogan in the same role you've seen so often, taking the throw-in. Bit of shoving in the middle of the field. Kemery in the middle of it all. Castle sends it out. Looks like now's the time that the Hornets will try to kill some time. Sitting in the 7th minute of the second half. Hornets sitting up 3-0. Hurtado. Good turn. Now some room gets sent out. Falls to the feet of Hogan. Hogan with some green in front of her, trying to push forward to Cutler. And that gets cut off by Zarnowski. Halstead dishes it out to Fabrizio, who then goes opposite field. Some more back and forth to be had. Byrne is trying to get there in time, unable to. And this one goes out for an Albion throw-in. Abby O'Connell to throw it in. Gets it to Kelsey Green. Green working on the line. Forbes cuts off the service into the box. Forbes into the midfield. Intended target looked to be Kemery. Maybe also Anna Courtney, number 17 in white. Also looks like there might be a Hornet substitution down on the sideline. Bernice out to Cutler. Fizzles out to no harm. Fisher with the Brit throw-in. Cut off by the Hornets, and that's been the story of the night. Now with some Green in front of her. Green sends it backwards to O'Connell. O'Connell over the crossbar and over the net. No harm to the keeper, Jess Forbes. Savannah Norman steps right back on for Courtney Cutler. The junior for the freshman. Slight shove by Abby O'Connell onto Ruby Ogan's going to get the call and possession back to the Hornets. They're sitting under 5 minutes in the second half, up 3-0. In their first game of MIAA tournament play. They go wide for Hogan, but too wide as Hogan runs out of real estate. Header intended for Bernice. Bernice juggling on the sideline, passes to herself. Now with some room. Zarnowski threw herself. Bernice still juggling. Bernice dishes out to Norman. Norman now fighting with Zarnowski. And the call against the Hornets favoring Zarnowski, and you're going to get an injury stoppage time. Savannah Norman slow to get up. It was a lot of battle with Zarnowski, who has been putting her body on the line for this Albion team all day. She's been working the sideline defensively and trying to offensively help her team out with no luck. At this point, all the Albion players facing a little bit of frustration as their leading goal scorer, Salo, has been quiet, but maybe not up to this point as Hurtado dishes it out. Bernice comes out of goal and snuffs it out. No danger to be had. Hogan with some room, trying to pass it out. And a will to Norman. Norman has Burness in the box. And it's going to get deflected out for a Kalamazoo corner. It's the it's the 8th corner of the day. Opts to go short. It looks like they're going to kill some time here. Maeve Nolan doing well. And it's going to be another corner kick. Under 3 minutes on the clock as the Hornets try to close out this MIAA tournament game against Albion. This one sent into the box. In the back and into the back of the net. Goal! There you go. They put the nail in the coffin as the Hornets go up 4-0. Some celebration to be had as Ruby Hogan dances her way on the field.
Goal for Kalamazoo from number 20, Ruby Hogan.
A hat trick on the night. Ruby Hogan with not 1, not 2, but 3 goals in MIAA tournament play. If you wanted any player to come alive at any point, you would want it to be Hogan, especially now, as she has found a new breath of air. Already the leading goal scorer, she just adds to her tally. I mentioned at the beginning of the game that the Brits were going to have to find an answer for Hogan, and they were unable to up to this point. Hogan, unable to be silenced, will not be silenced, as the Brits just try to add to the scoreboard before the zeros flash on the board. Sitting under 1 minute and 30 seconds left in the second half as the Hornets try to close this one out. Norman dishing out to the sideline. Feeds Burness. Burness with some green. She has an opportunity to kill some time. She will. More back and forth as this one gets sent out for a corner. And if the Hornets play their cards right, this can be the last play of the game. With just under 1 minute, as Nolan is going to slow jog her way to the corner. Will they go for a goal-scoring attempt, or will they run the clock down? They opt to send it in the box, to the back, and that one gets scary as it makes connection with Hogan. Welsh able to get her hands on it. Hogan trying to make her day a 4-goal game. Welsh with a couple of seconds sends it into the half. Hornets just trying to close it out. Under 15 seconds.
10, 9,
and the final
8,
10 seconds
7,
of play.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
Sent
1.
into the direction of Forbes. And there are your zeros and your final score of the day. It is a 4-0 win for the Hornets in the first game of MIAA play. They move on to the tournament. And everybody takes a breath. Completely different from when these last two teams met. It was a 1-1 draw the last time these two teams met. Hogan also with the only goal of the game. Well, this time she doesn't get kept at 1. She has a hat trick on the night. Ruby Hogan scoring in the 13th minute, in the 32nd minute, and then in the 87th minute. Again, a hat trick already itself is such an accomplishment, but in tournament play is something special. Elle Burness also added to the scoreboard in the 28th minute herself. Just a lot going on both sides. Both teams not having the cleanest of play in that first half, not the cleanest of passes. But it was the Hornets who were able to string it together quickly and bring it back to get the win 4-0. Even in terms of shots, if you look at the shots on the overall game, you had Kalamazoo sitting at 16 shots this game and then 9 for Albion. That is how quiet Albion has had for this game. They had a quiet night in terms of corner. Kalamazoo had 10 corners and 4 for Albion. Shots on goal was 8-5. Kalamazoo outweighing Albion again. In saves, Kalamazoo had 5-4. So even though I would say Maddie Welsh had faced more attacks onto the goal, I can tell you right now, Forbes did not let up. Forbes able to come out of this game with a clean sheet, keeping the score at 4-0, not letting anything pass her. This is one for the books and something definitely marked down for Ruby Hogan as she comes out with a hat trick in MIAA tournament play. That means that this team will move on. Already faring better than last year. This team was 7th in MIAA standing last year. So in comparison, and if you want to know how much this team has changed since last season to this season, this tells you a lot. Not only beating Albion 4-0, but able to come into tournament play in comparison to last year. Major improvements have been done with the team. The seniors coming alive today in today's game. The sophomores coming alive. Ruby Hogan having a night herself. A lot of things came together for this win, and it was to the demise of the Albion Brits. The Brits just not the strongest of outings. Still coming out on top are the Hornets. Again, I remind you of your score. To close out this broadcast, it ended off 4-0. Your Hornets coming out with the win. Your goal scorers, as in order, are Ruby Hogan, Elle Bernis, Ruby Hogan, and Ruby Hogan. Thank you guys so much for tuning in on this classic on Mackenzie Field. My name is Maya Pasillas, and this was Hornet Athletics.